All right, everybody, we got episode 94 with, for you on YouTube, look straight down here. We got the Hummus Company, the Hummus Co., if you will. James coming to represent his business that he started from scratch, from a dream, from his tiny kitchen to what it is now. What a cool story. Like, who doesn't love hearing the journey from, like, just that story that you hear, the guy that started in his basement and moved up to bigger things. This is really cool. This guy was great. A fun story. This was a fun conversation. I really enjoyed having him in the studio. And I hope you guys check him out. I hope you guys like this episode. He's got stuff on Amazon. We get into all his hummus and his story, video games, a little bit of beer. You'll figure it out. I'm not going to go, why do I do this? All right, guys. Look below. We got the Hummus Co. They are not really sponsoring this podcast, but it's an unofficial sponsor for this episode anyways. If you're in the Kansas City area, you can find his hummus at all the Hy-Vees and Constantino's. And then on Amazon, his new, as we were calling it, joking around, space hummus. This astronaut type hummus. It's pre-hydrated hummus that you just add water to. And he's got a bunch of different flavors, but check this one out. It's called the Reaper. It's ridiculously hot. I'm going to save it for a podcast that someone will do it with me. It's like ridiculously hot. One bite and you're supposed to get like, you're supposed to get sick and cry and ask for mercy. One of those challenges. We're going to give that a try eventually. I promise. And that's it. Guys, episode 94, James with the Hummus Co. Follow me or don't. Oh, there it is. Cheers. Thanks for The Calling by Boulevard. Double IPA.
They did not pay for that, by the way, for the advertising.
No, nobody does. I haven't really tried.
You could probably get some sponsors.
Yeah, I'd like to try. Maybe I say that, but I've never tried, so I shouldn't say I like to try if I never tried.
The first one we'll do. This podcast brought to you by the Hummus Co.
Yeah. All right, the Hummus Co.
The Hummus
We got James here with the Hummus Co.
Mm-hmm.
He owns the Hummus Co. What is the Hummus Co?
It's the Hummus Co.
The Hummus Co. Why is it the Hummus Co. not the Hummus Company?
It used to be the Hummus Company. It still kind of is. That's still the legal name.
Okay.
The Hummus Company LLC. Yeah, I came up with the name when I came up with. Should we just do the whole how I started at spiel?
Okay, yeah. How did you start the Hummus Co?
So I'll try to keep it kind of brief, but
I mean, we got nowhere to
I guess
go.
we have time. It's a Sunday.
We only have.
We're
We just have to go home and quarantine ourselves.
some self-isolation.
Some self-isolation, which we are doing a wonderful job at that doing right now. Hopefully, it doesn't get too bad where we actually have to lock ourselves in.
Well, we're doing a good job with the social distancing here.
This is it's at least a 6-foot table.
Yeah.
That's all I have to. Most people listen to this.
True. So I moved to California back in 2010.
Are you from Kansas City?
I'm from Kansas City, born and raised.
Where at?
I grew up kind of in Blue Valley. I've lived all over the city, everywhere except North Kansas City. And anybody from Kansas City knows that's like Mars up there, basically.
North Kansas City's turning into a nice spot.
It is. It's a cool spot, but we all know that there's regular Kansas City and North Kansas City. And North Kansas City's, I've never spent much time up there. I don't even know too much about North Kansas City. Sorry, any North Kansas Cityans.
I'll stick up for North KC. That's where I had my first live event.
Oh, really?
Was in North KC at this place called the Rhino.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's a phenomenal. I used to be a disc golfer, aka frisbee golf.
I saw your
Saw my basket over there. And there's a place in North Kansas City called Waterworks.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the nicest courses in the country.
Really?
I mean, it's probably not now, but it's up there. It's like, it's a classical course. Like, you ask any top pro that plays, ask them about Waterworks, they're gonna have high regards for it. And then there's like some cool micro brews in North KC, and the casinos are up there.
True.
And North KC Hospital is awesome. Both my kids were born there.
Oh, really?
And I'm gonna tell you this: some of the best fried chicken is in North Kansas City Hospital.
Really? Like in the cafeteria?
In the cafeteria.
Really?
Their cafeteria's got seriously good fried chicken.
So.
And it's only on a certain night. You gotta Google that shit when it's coming out there. But
So should I catch this coronavirus and go there just to get some of the?
if
some of the
if
chicken?
anyone listening, if hopefully you don't catch the corona,
Mm-hmm.
but if you do, it might be worth it to take yourself to North KC Hospital. It's a good hospital and a good cafeteria.
Next time I get sick or break a leg or something, I'll make sure to go up there and get some of their chicken.
Yeah, do it. Okay, so you lived all around Kansas City, and
Yeah.
then you decided to move to California.
Moved to California kind of on a whim.
Really?
Yeah, my stepbrother was visiting town here. He'd just gotten discharged from the Army, and was kind of coming through Kansas City, spent a couple months here. And I was kind of between jobs, had a little cushion of money. It was like, okay, what am I going to do with my life? He's like, dude, you want to come to California with me? I'm on my way there now. I was like, when are you leaving? He's like, next week. I was like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Where at?
Sacramento.
Okay.
So,
Sacktown.
yep, Sacktown, Ballsack. It's a, sorry, Sacramento people. No, it's a good place. Actually, Sacramento reminded me a lot of Kansas City. To be
Really?
honest. Yeah. I was really worried about like cost of living when I got there because I didn't have a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
But really, Sacramento wasn't that bad. We rented a 3-bedroom, 2-car garage house for $800 a month. It's not
Wow.
right in North Sacramento.
Was that like in the hood?
No, I mean, well.
I mean, that's
there
pretty cheap.
There were a couple Jehovah's Witnesses across the street.
Yeah. They're up and down this street all the time. I think they got one. They hooked a guy across the street. They're picking him up every Sunday.
No, they're riding their little bikes around in there.
No, they park and then they walk. But yeah, they hooked a guy.
That's so
They
unfortunate.
got him. Maybe he seems to enjoy it.
Well, do you? So I got there. I started a job at a gourmet food store. There was the place was dead. It was in a really bad spot. It was this big, beautiful development right off this highway, but she couldn't get any traffic in there. So working there, she'd looked over my resume. I worked at, we used to have this wonderful store here in Kansas City called Dean and DeLuca. Do you ever?
I've heard of it.
They unfortunately closed last year. And the whole company, I believe, is filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah, bummer.
It is a bummer because they have some really good stuff. I used to work there for years. I was a caterer there. She saw my resume, was like, "Hey, can you kind of turn my store into like a mini Dean and DeLuca?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I did. Dean and DeLuca was in Kansas City, had this huge prepared foods case. So the chef was making all kinds of chicken salads and all kinds of things. They were selling by the pound to people. That was a very, very popular
Potato salad, macaroni salad, all that
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
I love a good potato salad.
Oh, me too.
Man.
What is it? That German potato salad. That's
I like it all.
Yeah, all potatoes.
All potato salad, all potato anything. I love potatoes.
I wish I would have brought potato salad instead of beer. So I did that. Things started turning around in this store. One day she emailed me this recipe, and this was in 2010. Hummus was kind of starting to get big in California. Here in Kansas City, not so much. she emailed me this recipe for asparagus hummus. And
That's interesting.
it was so gross. I made it. I was like, okay, this is gross. She's like, okay, well, but the point is make some hummus. I was like, okay. So I went and bought a couple different kinds at the store, ate it. I didn't like anything that I ate. So I was like, okay, well, I mean, what goes into hummus? It's chickpeas and tahini and garlic. And okay, I can just make my own hummus. I'll just come up with my own recipe. Why not? So I did. The first one I made was a smoky chipotle, and it flew out of that store. We couldn't keep it stocked. I was making fresh hummus every day. Long story short, I left my job there due to, well, the owner sucked.
No!
She hired me at California minimum wage, which was still I think $9.50 an hour or something like that, and promised me like, hey, as we grow the store and get bigger, we'll do pay increases and all that. I'm like, okay. And after like 4 months and like quadrupling her sales, I hit her up like, hey, well, how about that raise? She's like, right now it's not a good time. I was like, well,
that's not true.
That's a bummer because I'm going to leave. And she ended up actually closing the store a few months after that.
What do you think about that? Is that kind of not that you're happy about it, but you're kind of like, told you, bitch.
Told you, bitch. Yeah, pretty much. So I stuck around California for a little bit, for a couple months after this, trying to, I was like, we'll see if I can score some super sweet job. And didn't, because the economy out there, the job market out there was awful at the time. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, it's probably about time to just pack it up and roll back to KC. So I did, quietly. Didn't tell anybody I was coming back. Surprised some of my people. Surprised my mom. She lost her shit.
Yeah.
When I showed up at her door like, hey, Mom. She's like, oh, my God.
Can I live here?
So I actually hit my sister up. She had a townhouse, and she's like, so you don't have anywhere to live, do you? I'm like, no. She's like, okay, well, you can come stay here. So I did. And I had nothing going on. I had no job. I worked at Brio on the Plaza. You ever been there? Italian restaurant, the like mammoth.
No, I know of
restaurant.
it, but I haven't been there now.
So good.
It's the Plaza. I don't frequent the Plaza. That's a little bit out of my price range typically.
It is a little pricey, but super good stuff. Just save yourself like $50 per person. Go do their pork chops. Are crazy.
I'm uncomfortable around that setting too. Like, I'm just not. Rich white people aren't really my
Your
thing.
people.
Like, I don't know. I'm uncomfortable around them.
Fair enough. I'll take their money. I used to work there, so
I worked down there. I did work on the Cheesecake Factory on the Plaza there. So yeah, I didn't mind working down there, but like if I were to go hang out or go to a bar or whatever, I've done it a few times, but it's a little bougie for me, like a little snobby. I don't know.
Did you hang out at Piat's?
No. Let's see. What was one that we went to a lot? Kona Grill.
Oh, Kona's good.
I did just go down there a few weeks ago with a friend to O'Dowd's. And I had just this craziest day. We had a great day. I can't say all that we did because some of it is kind of I don't want to say incriminating, but I don't want people to hear it. But anyway, so we were about 3 sheets to the wind, and we're like, let's go down to O'Dowd's. And we came up with this whole story of, we just moved here from Rhode Island, and I'm an author, and she's just my girlfriend that hangs out with me, and we're looking to buy a place down at Too Light. And we just had this whole story, and we're sitting at O'Dowd's, and we're talking to 2 different people. One dude's a doctor. This other dude was an ex-baseball player. He played for the Mariners. And we had them both just like, but one of the guy was like, oh, yeah, I'm from, what did you say, Connecticut or something like that. He goes, we would go to Rhode Island all the time. And so he's talking to me about Rhode Island. And I'm just like, off the top of my head, coming up with random Rhode Island shit that I kind of know. I'm not from Rhode Island. We just came up with this story. And we just had this whole night of just pretending we were people from Rhode Island with this elaborate, funny story. It was just really, so I had fun doing that. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's just,
That would be terrifying to me. Like,
really?
to come up with something to, or put on this thing, and then somebody just essentially like calling you out on it in conversation. You're just like, yeah, or just like you were trying to make up a story, like,
yeah,
this will be fun. But then people like, oh yeah,
yeah.
what high school did you go to? Like, well, I lived in that town too. What year did you like?
You just gotta say it confidently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I don't,
I went to Northeast. Where'd you go?
like, I would just be terrified that somebody like that school doesn't exist. Like, oh fuck,
They're not gonna know.
Right.
I went to a private. I was homeschooled.
There you go. Yeah, that would be awful. Well, so Brio on the Plaza, I worked there for a number of years, off and on. I got fired a couple of times, came back.
Oh,
a couple
nice.
times.
They liked you.
They
Hated you and loved you.
Some of them liked me, some of them hated me. It was all right. So I had no job. I went back to Brio, and just I was, where am I going with my life? And some people kind of asked me, they were like, what's all this food you were making when you lived out in California? I was like, oh yeah, I was making all kinds of stuff for this prepared foods case that we had. I was like, but let me make some hummus. You guys would like the hummus that I made. So
that was your favorite thing?
That was my favorite thing. And well, it was the most popular thing at that store.
Okay.
So or at least that I made. There were some other popular items, but so I made some hummus for this woman who worked in my grandma's office. And I remember, I'll never forget the look she gave me. I went in there, I was like, here, try this hummus. And she like eats it and just like the most seductive, like, this is the best hummus I've ever had in my life. I'm like, oh, okay. The hummus that you like, or is it what else? She's like, you need to start a hummus business. I was like, I kind of shrugged it off, laughed it off. I was like, dude, I'm a white kid from Kansas City. I can't start a hummus business. Like, somebody is going to blow me up or something. Like,
right.
Like, it's kind of, it felt a little weird. And I went home that night and sat there thinking about it. Like, well, I got nothing better to do with my life. Like, get on Google, like, how do you start a business? How do you start a food business? How do you start a hummus business? And then it like occurred to me, like, shit, I probably could do this. Like, okay. I stayed up all night till like 6 o'clock in the morning. I was Googling just everything, how to, food codes and stuff like that. And like the last thing I thought of, I was like, oh, well, what would I name this? What would be a good name for the hummus company? Like, if I started the hummus company, what would I call it? The hummus company? Is that a thing? Wasn't a thing. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take it. And did. So that was the long story of how the name came about.
Well, that's perfect. I mean, yeah, the hummus company.
Yeah.
Boom.
And, I'm a pretty simple person. I'm pretty basic. I don't like to complicate things. I
keep it simple, stupid.
Exactly. And that's actually a principle that I learned from the woman that I worked for in California at that gourmet food store. That was her she was an accountant by trade. She had a bunch of money, and that's how she owned this development, this little gourmet food store. That was her big principle, was KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Right.
So that really stuck with me over the years. So started the Hummus Co. in my basement. I built a little commercial kitchen in my basement.
Cool.
It was wild. It was small, really small.
What was it? What was it? What did it look like? Did you design it, or was it just the necessities? Or like,
it was the necessities. I had to put up a wall. It was probably no bigger than this room.
Okay.
At all. It was about 200 square feet. And I had a 12-foot long dish sink and a couple stainless steel tables, a couple refrigerators, and that was pretty much it. And that's where I started making it.
Just on like just fresh hummus every day or every few days? Like, how often do you have to do it?
It was very sporadic at the beginning because I have a tendency to be pretty lazy sometimes. So it's working when you have a business from home like that, as you well know.
Yeah.
If you're working, doing things from home, it's hard for me to. It was hard for me to like wake up in the morning, drink some coffee, like, okay,
be disciplined about it.
Yeah, like I got to go down and make this hummus, or I can play Xbox for a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly what goes into my head.
Yeah,
I've been playing Apex all morning.
Have you really?
Pushing it. I was like, I'm going to stop at 10 o'clock, and then I've got to get ready for the podcast. I'm going to do this, and I was like, I'm so close to doing this part. Let me play again. It's like 10:45. All right, shit. All right. As soon as I die, I'm cutting it off and jumping straight in the shower. Shit, I haven't had breakfast yet. All right, then quick breakfast, then the shower, and boom. And I did it.
Yeah, I stayed up a little bit late last night playing Grand Theft Auto. This whole self-isolation thing has got me like loving on my video games.
It's a good game to get stuck on.
It is. It's
Get isolated on.
such an incredible game too. I hate that I love it so much.
I'm the same way with just Xbox in general.
Yeah.
I get too many hours sucked into that. It's unbelievable.
Dude, this one thing with our generation, I don't know how old you are. I'm almost 37. I grew up playing video games, and all the video games back then were pretty lame. Not lame. They were exciting, but nowhere near as cool as we have these days. So being an almost 37-year-old man, like, these games are awesome. I'm not going to not play them.
Everything's different. Yeah, I'm 40. I grew up with everything. Like, I had Nintendo is like the first day it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And not only has like the graphics and the gameplay look and the style and everything is completely different, but the controllers are just, look how, they were basically like stone tools back in the day.
Yeah.
And now it's like, now we've got fire and wheel and conveyor belts and automobiles, it's just, they're vibrating. I used to have, and it was an aftermarket Xbox controller that had fans in the hand when you would hold it with your hand, had fans inside, and you could turn it on, and the fans would go while you would play to keep
cool your hands.
Yeah, so you weren't sweating.
Keep you from getting all sweaty. Weird.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
Was it? I bet after years you look at the fans inside and it's got like Dorito dust all over it.
Yeah, it didn't last years.
No, probably not. I can't imagine.
But they were cheap too. They were only like maybe $30 or something.
Really?
Mad Cats.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a big brand.
Mm-hmm.
They probably still are, I think.
Maybe. Probably. Probably big in computers and stuff, I bet.
Oh yeah. They did like pretty sure they did like the airplane or the simulator like
yeah.
What do you call those? Like the yoke. Didn't they? I think they did some of those. Anyway, I never.
Welcome to Neanderthal Podcast, where we get derailed. Like a motherfucker on this thing. We just do.
I'll fit right in.
So your little kitchen, you're trying to stay motivated to make it and disciplined to get your hummus going. Yep. And how are you selling it at first? Like how did you come up, like, all right, I can turn what gave you the motivation and the drive to pull the trigger on spending the money on a miniature kitchen and just go, all right, who am I going to sell this to? Right.
So, before I built the kitchen, it took me probably 6 months to like build the kitchen. When I first got the idea, I spent a lot of time like in the kitchen of the house, just making some stuff, making some samples, giving it to my Brio people. We had couple dozen servers that would work at a time, so I would go in for a shift and like, hey, you guys try this hummus that I made.
Oh, cool.
They
must have loved you.
Oh, they loved it. I'm pretty sure they
servers love to eat.
Yeah, they do. The chefs hated it though. The chefs that I worked with didn't like me bringing in all the food all the time. They're put that away. I'm like, okay, damn it. But just getting feedback and seeing if people would like it and seeing if it was something that would take off. Mm-hmm. And I ended up coming up with 6 flavors. And it wasn't until I got introduced to a manager at a Hy-Vee. There was a Hy-Vee out off State Line 123rd. It's been closed now, but that I had a meeting set up with a manager there, and I was like, "Yeah, I'd love to sell you this hummus." And he could read right through me. He's like looking at me. He's like, "Look, I don't really like hummus. I like this. I like you. I like the company." I'd love to pick this up and put it in the store. I was like, yay, all right. But he's like, so where are you making this? I was like, in my kitchen. He's like, oh, you got a commercial kitchen? I was like, nope, I make this just in my kitchen. He's like, okay. He writes on a little piece of paper, this Hy-Vee will buy your hummus once you get a commercial kitchen.
Oh, wow.
Like, okay.
Oh, cool.
Kind of a PO, basically, not an official PO. So I was like, okay, I gotta I got to come up with some money. I got to figure out, how am I going to build a commercial kitchen, or how am I going to, I didn't even know where to look for that. It was something I
Get on
hadn't
Google
even
again,
thought
right?
about. Yeah, I got on Google. So, and the guy who introduced me to that Hy-Vee ended up becoming my business partner. I won't name any names, but he worked for Hy-Vee. I met him. I actually waited on him at Brio one night, and he was a gluten-free vegan, and
that guy just doesn't like to eat, huh? He makes it real difficult.
He, surprisingly though, because I'm a meat eater, man, I can't live without steak. He made some really good stuff. He would bring stuff into the office all the time that we would,
Well, if you can't eat anything, the shit that you can eat better tastes good.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I was waiting on him at Brio one night. He's looking over the menu, and I asked him what he wanted. He's like, man, there's like nothing on this menu I can eat. I was like, are you like vegan? He's like, yeah, vegan and gluten free. I was like, dude, do you like hummus? And he gave me that same look that woman originally gave me. He just looks up slowly. He's like, dude, I love hummus. I was like, hang on just a second. And I go grab one of the sample things that I had made, one of the sample containers, and I had it in my apron. I went out there and I like slid it to him. I was like, here, take that home, try it. Let me know what you think. He's like, dude, I've had this before. I'm like, no, you haven't. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure I've had this. I'm like, no, you haven't, because I make that and it's never been sold anywhere. And he's like, okay. And he, like, sticks it in his bag and emails me a couple days later. He's like, dude, this is the best hummus I've ever had. And, I work at a Hy-Vee. I can introduce you to a manager to get your stuff on the shelf. I was like, cool. So then we had that meeting. And I'm leaving that meeting, and he chases me out the door, and he's like, dude, what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to come up with a kitchen. I don't know what I'm going to do. And he's like, well, look, I've got a little bit of money saved up. I can give you some, let's start a partnership. I said, okay. So he threw in some money. We converted half of my basement, my sister's basement.
Oh, wow.
Converted half of it into a commercial kitchen, and then started filling that. So when was that? I want to say that was in like February. It was, I want to say it was in February 2011. I just burped right into the microphone.
It's all right.
The beer, man.
You're not the first one to do that.
Probably not. It's this beer.
We like to drink on this podcast. It happens.
Yeah, I'm glad I brought beer.
Me too.
If I brought scotch, it might be worse. I'd probably be passed out. That's so good too.
It is good.
We built this little kitchen. We got into this one store. It was before the kitchen was officially built, and if I have any like health inspector friends listening, I apologize. But there was this one little store in Lee Summit called Grab It. It was a gas station without gas. It was if you've been to downtown Lee Summit before, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
They've got all their real small little shops. This was just a little convenience store. The guy got my business card somehow, some way, from somebody, I don't know who, and he emails or he called me. He's like, I heard you make really good hummus. I'm like, where the fuck did you hear
so
that from?
word's getting around that you make some good hummus.
Yeah, and this was before we even sold it anywhere. I was like, okay,
what
cool.
This was back in 2011?
Yeah, 2011.
Your company's been around that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, right?
Okay. That's wow.
Yeah. So we sold it at that store. Our official debut was March 1st, 2011. We sold it at that store. Again, that was before I was official and legit and had a commercial kitchen, but I wasn't going to let anything stop me from, I'd made sure to clean my kitchen, and, the kitchen was safe-ish. It just wasn't legit.
Right.
So, and then the Hy-Vee thing came, and then we started selling to Hy-Vee. I want to say it was April 28th, 2011. So just a month and a half.
Wow.
Almost 2 months after that.
Is it still in Hy-Vee?
Yeah. Now that Hy-Vee has closed.
But it's in Hy-Vees in general. All of Kansas City can go get.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Dang, man.
So Hy-Vee's
you've done it.
Trying. It's really hard to distribute.
That's a big deal, isn't it? To get your stuff in some grocery stores all around the metro like that.
I mean, kind of. It's a job. It's not Hy-Vee is actually pretty easy to work with. You know, they all the stores are owned and operated, or not owned, but they're operated independently, so they can make decisions on what they want to pick up, you know, or what they don't on a store by store basis. So I could just walk into any Hy-Vee and be like, hey, y'all want to buy this? Like, sure, yeah, no problem. And then just, you know, make it and deliver it. It's pretty easy. Some of the other chains like Cosentino's, I'm in the Cosentino's chain. They're a little bit more difficult to get into with their, you know, they've got, you know, standard insurance standards and all kinds of stuff. But Cosentino's is a great chain too. So I'm in Hy-Vee's. I'm in Hy-Vee's and Cosentino's right now with the fresh hummus.
Wow.
So I rocked that out. I've been rocking that out for 9 years.
That's got to be pretty cool. It's got to feel cool. Like you go from you just kind of, you know, selling mixtapes out of your seat, out of the back of your car,
mixed tubs.
Yeah, to now, like, you know, you're full on distributing with like Interscope Records and shit. Like you're,
well,
like how cool is that to see that from that to now you're in like, are you still working at your kitchen, your little commercial kitchen?
No, so that I've had a few spaces since then. You know, we grew out of that basement kitchen after about 14 months. We just realized, like, you know, you want a bigger space than you need really for something like that. And, you know, for mostly for safety. Like refrigerated food is really hard to work with. You have to be really careful on handling it. We only had 2 small refrigerators, you know, if you can, I mean, well, bigger than that, but, that's all I had for my hummus, and I needed something bigger. So we ended up there was a catering business that was going out of business. Dude had posted on Craigslist a walk-in cooler that he was selling. And I sent my business partner down to check it out. And he calls me. He's down there. He's like, dude, this guy is like selling his whole business. Like, we can just buy this walk-in cooler, or we can buy everything for not much more. I was like, nice. Oh, no shit. I was like, dude, get it all. And, you know, so we bought a catering business. We didn't end up doing any catering stuff. And just kind of stored a bunch of that equipment. We really only needed the walk-in cooler was what we needed. But, so we had actually built a space about 2 blocks up the road from where my first kitchen was in my basement. It was my first actual commercial space. It was about 1,200 square feet. I don't really need much for making hummus. I just need couple tables and a cooler is really it, and my mixer. I was doing it all by hand back then too. I had this like wand mixer. It's called an immersion blender. It's a big stick, you know, it kind of goes down in it and you just mix it up. It's like got blades on the end of it,
like a butter churn.
Kind of. Dude, that sucked so bad. I have back problems still from that. Like just the up and down.
Wow.
Trying to mix all this hummus. And I mean, I have a bigger mixer now that does it for me. I can just turn it on, walk away, and come back after a few minutes. And
is it you that still makes it?
Yeah.
Just you?
Yeah. Like I said, I can do a lot by myself. You know, I can get a lot done just by myself. I can make about 1,000 pounds of hummus in 10 or 11 hours, something like that. About 1,000 pounds.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds like it's a lot.
I mean, that's quite a bit. That's about that would be about 1,800 containers worth.
Wow! Holy crap!
Yeah.
Are you like when you first started to make it? Boy, 2011. Well, you started before that when you were in California when you first started making it.
Yeah, I don't.
That was kind of before YouTube and stuff. Like you weren't YouTubing, like, how do I make hummus? Like, just come up with recipes? Like, how did you know? What does it take? And then just started coming up with trial and error. Let me throw some garlic in here. Let me throw some olives in here.
Yeah,
whatever.
It's all trial and error. And that's why I took months, you know, starting this business, you know, getting the feedback from people, you know, people saying like, you know, this has too much garlic, or this has too much this, or, you know, add more of this to it. Like, okay, cool. You know, my Brio people were like my big.
That's crazy. Wow, what a cool story.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love seeing a successful story like that.
It's a blast, man. You know, I just try to have fun with it. I don't take like anything too seriously. You know, I mean, I own a hummus business. It's kind of weird. You know, I wake up some mornings and I'm just like, the fuck? You own a hummus business? Is it really?
Is that all you do?
What you're doing? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, that's great.
Yeah.
You're living the dream.
I left Brio in 2013 for my 30th birthday. It was April 2013.
Oh, dude. Oh, man.
That was the last time I had a job.
Wow. I was a server for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're serving for a couple years, you kind of start to feel trapped.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is what I'm going to do. Like, fuck. My parents wanted so much more out of me. They didn't want me to be a server. I don't want to be a server. Like, it just, at least for me. I mean, some people are fine with it, but God, nobody really wants to be as that your career. So to get out of it like you did, that's such a really cool success story that a lot of servers must be like, dude, he got out. He's one of the ones that got out. How cool is that?
I feel like almost every person in the hospitality industry, servers, bartenders, I feel like almost everyone is working towards something else. You know, they're either serving while they're in school or serving while they're trying to start a business or
a lot of them. At least they tell themselves that's what they're doing, but then they get stuck. They just get stuck there. You've seen it.
Yeah.
You've seen those career servers.
You can make pretty decent money serving if you get it, but yeah.
You know, I've gone, you go and you get the server that's just, he's a little too old.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, you're like 52 and you can tell like this is your career. It's not like even at like a fancy steakhouse or something. Like, it's like, I feel bad for you, dude. Like, yeah, whatever. You're doing what you got to do.
Yeah.
But it sucks.
Oh, yeah, it does.
I got to get another beer. You cool with that?
Yeah, dude. Get it.
You want one over here? I'll just
I'll grab me one just in case.
Just in case.
Can you still? I guess we are in a room together. You can still hear me.
Oh yeah, I can hear
you. That corn IPA. That's such good shit.
Boulevard coming after you for a sponsorship.
Yeah, I've tweeted them a couple times. They never respond to my tweets.
Really?
They follow us on. I think they follow us on Instagram, and I think they follow us on Twitter, but they never respond to any of my. I've posted pictures on Twitter like tagging them like a big ass thing of hummus next to a beer, like yep, working late, blah 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 blah, and like I can't even get them to like my tweet, like fuck you.
They probably see through it. They're like, this guy's using us for a commercial.
Probably. I try not to do that, but I don't know.
So fresh hummus, beautiful. You got something here that you looks like a miniature MRE.
And that's how we
astronaut food. He's got these little pack for the people that are listening. He's got these little astronaut pack looking type things.
That
say the Hummus Co. on them.
Funny story because because we were just talking about Boulevard and then bringing up this. I've been doing a lot of tweeting lately, and
how's that going for you?
It's actually going great, but some people kind of say, I just search for hummus and see what people say about hummus, and then I sneak in there like boop, here, say something about like this, because now I can ship hummus. So, but I had one guy one day, I said something on his tweet about hummus, and he was like, "Get the fuck out of here with your space hummus!" Like, oh, space hummus, that's awesome. Like, I'm gonna use that. Or he said, "Get out of my mentions with your space hummus." I'm like, sorry, man. But yeah, so this is something. I got this idea. I was backpacking.
Hold it up to the camera. Will you throw the camera on him?
One,
right here. Throw it there.
That guy right there. Boop. And it fits nicely in your pocket. My business partner
fits nicely in the front pocket.
Oh yeah, my business partner.
Looks like Cuban cigars or something, just hanging out there.
Reaper hummus.
The Reaper hummus. Yeah. We'll talk about that in a minute. So let's talk about this space hummus you had here.
Yeah.
It says just add water.
Yeah. I was backpacking the Appalachian Trail back in 2016.
Oh, cool.
With a dear friend of mine.
Did you do the whole thing?
No, we just did a section. Neither one of us could take the 6 months off of work that it takes.
Right.
And neither one of us really had the experience that it would take to do a through hike. It was her first time ever backpacking. Okay. So I was like, yeah, we'll just do like 20 miles, and it ended up only being like 7 miles or something like that because we had too much stuff on our packs, and we kind of anyway. Sorry, Ashley. We told people we weren't going to say that.
Sorry, Ashley.
But so we're at this shelter. I don't know if you've ever done any backpacking. On the Appalachian Trail, there's these shelters about every half day apart. like a half day's hike apart.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lean-to. They encourage you not to sleep in tents. They want you to sleep in these shelters. So we're at this shelter one night, and there's this dude. He's got this like Tupperware. He's mixing something in this Tupperware, and it's purple. And I'm like, bro, what are you making there? He's like, oh, this is it's hummus. I was like, what?
Weird. No way.
What kind of hummus are you mixing? He's like, well, it's the stuff that I buy on Amazon. Comes in like this big bag. I was like, is it good? He's like, no, dude, it tastes like shit. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so why is it purple? He's like, oh, I added like beet powder to it, and I spice it up like crazy to make it taste good. I'm like, okay, but so it's like a powdered hummus. He's like, yeah, you're supposed to add all this other stuff to it, but I just put it in like bags and all that. I was like, okay, so that would be so crazy to have like
how the hell?
hummus.
So this is when I start wondering if the Matrix, if simulation theory is real.
It is.
Like how you're just how many? I've never even heard of a hummus person before until you. And then you're going backpacking in the Appalachian Trail, and you just happen to run into this dude that just happens to be eating space.
I do have somebody
hummus.
to vouch for this story.
I believe you. I'm not calling shenanigans on you. I believe you. It's just crazy.
Well, it just blew my mind. And here I'm like, dude, you're talking to somebody who owns a fucking hummus business. Like,
right.
Tell me about this. I was like, okay, so you have like a powdered hummus. What would you change about it? He was like, dude, one, if it tasted good, that'd be great. I was like, okay.
That's the number one thing.
Yeah, and then he was like, and it comes in like a 7-pound bag or something. I was like, I can't carry 7 pounds of it, so I had to portion it all. So if it came like in a smaller portion that was easier for me to use, then that's what I would want out of it. I'm like, I'm gonna put my noggin to it and let you know what I come up with. I'm not in contact with that guy anymore or anything. I am actually still in contact. I'm Facebook friends with a guy who was at the lodge or at that shelter that night, who brought this story up when I like launched this. He just came out of nowhere. He's like, I remember I was there that night. I'm like, oh yeah, you were, Steve, cool. Like crazy. So I came home. I kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit. I've got the fresh hummus business. I was like, well, if I ever did anything with like a just add water, I don't know if that would be like the main part of the business. It might just be an offshoot. I don't even know how well that would go. I tried. I mean, literally, this is recipe number like 50. Maybe even more than that. I tried so many different ways to make it, different ways of like, we would dehydrate some ingredients, didn't work. We would try powdering some, there's a, if you're familiar with molecular, or no, what's the word? Gastronomy. Anyway, it's turning fats into a solid with like maltodextrin. I tried that with some oils and things like that in the tahini. It didn't work. So, every time that I'd have a failure with it, I was like, all right, you know what? We're putting this off for a while. Fuck this. I'm going to put this on the shelf and, come back to it later, whatever. And finally, a good friend of mine, who's now my business partner, Kalen, I was telling him about this, and he's like, wait a second, you got what idea? I was like, yeah, like just add water hummus. He's like, where are you at on it? I'm like, I'm nowhere. And I think, honestly, I'm kind of an ambivert.
What does that mean?
So it's a mixture of introvert and extrovert, which I guess you could really just call normal. But I don't know. I oddly like I like to do a lot of stuff on my own. When I'm working, like when I'm in the kitchen, I work in a shared facility here in Independence. When I'm in the kitchen, I don't know. I always have my headphones on. I never listen. Rarely even talk to anybody. I just get in the zone, do my shit, get out. So in that instance, like I'm an introvert when it comes to like actually doing work. But I also need to be motivated sometimes. I have a really hard time getting motivated on stuff. I hadn't had a business partner since 2013. I was working on my own for years, but I was just doing the same thing over and over and over, just fresh hummus deliveries. Okay, fresh hummus deliveries, drink beer, do the same thing over again the next week. I got into a rut with it. it was cool what I was doing, but
I get it.
But I'm an
get it.
entrepreneur,
Yeah.
so like my mind, like, dude, you need to do something different. Let's change some shit. So I told him about this, my current partner, Kalen, and he's like, dude, what do you need? I was like, honestly, man, I need motivation on this more than anything else. Like, I need somebody to.
I need a hype man.
Yeah,
I need a hype man.
I needed somebody.
Charlie,
to
you
hold
need to be
me.
my hype man. Hype me up a little bit more than you already do, G.
Can you come over to my house and hype me up too sometimes? Okay, good. So I just needed him to. I needed somebody like. Did you ever read the Steve Jobs book, the Apple book? There was a whole book about Steve Jobs.
No, I've got Jordan Peterson's book over here. I just picked up.
Oh, dude, I need to get that.
12 Rules of Life.
Yeah, I need to get that book.
Yeah.
So I mean, Steve Jobs is the genius that he was, and I'm not calling myself a genius by any means, but the genius that he was, and as creative as he was, he still had to hire a president of Apple to keep him in check. He needed somebody to be his boss. So it's kind of the reason I hired Kalen, or not hired. We brought him into the company, was to set me on a path. I'm an entrepreneur. I have an entrepreneurial mind. I also have ADHD really bad, if you couldn't tell.
Shit, holding it together.
I think
pretty
most of us
well.
do. So I mean, my mind wanders. Something doesn't work. Okay, I'm off on something else now. Oh, now I'm playing video games. Now I'm doing this. Now I'm. So I needed him to kind of, hey, dude, I'm going to hold you accountable so that we can get this going, so we can get this off the ground. He saw the potential in this. So we spent months and months and months and months and months, and actually, I don't know, where are we on now? Like almost 2 years since he's been my business partner, that we've been working on this like solid. And we finally just launched it. Is it still March? Yeah, so we just launched it last month, beginning of February.
That's brand new. It took 2 years to finally get this.
Yeah, he's
get this done. That's awesome. That's
feel
awesome that you kept at it for 2 years. I bet a lot of people would be like, "Fuck this, man. I'm frustrated. I can't come up with it. It's a lost cause." 2 years is a long time to put into one project.
It is. It really is. It's been rough, man. I mean, we've had this whole thing. I mean, you would think just, oh, it's a powdered food, put it into a pouch, dude. It's so fucking hard. Like this has been the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. The absolute hardest thing. Putting this together, it's been so stressful. So it's hard, man.
How good does it feel to finally have it done?
It feels pretty great.
I bet.
So
what an accomplishment, right?
I know, right? And
now I can go back to playing video games. Like, all right, I'm gonna reward myself with 6 months of Xbox.
I do at the night. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm not. Yeah, we've poured our lives into this. I've poured my life into it. My poor business partner, he's dealt with all
you guys
of my
did it, huh?
shitty.
You did it.
We did it though. So it's on Amazon now. This is
how much is one? Is that one serving?
Yeah, so this is one pretty good size serving. This makes the equivalent of like a half of a tub of hummus.
Holy cow!
So
that could like 2 people could eat that for lunch, huh?
Yeah, we wanted to be
looks so
realistic.
Small.
Yeah, but it's once you add the water
no,
to
I'm
it,
sure
it's
a grower, not a shower. I get it.
Oh my god. I'm telling my business partner about that. We're probably going to tweet that.
All right, that's fine. Just give me credit.
That's incredible. I love it. We're growers, not showers. That's terrible. Terribly wonderful. So each pouch gets you about a quarter pound. Every tub of hummus that you would buy in the store is about a half pound or a little bit more of hummus. So, and we wanted to be realistic about the serving size.
Got them packs right there.
Oh yeah. I wanted to be realistic about it because, I mean, you buy a bag of Doritos or something. It's
all air.
The servings, well, it's all air, but then you get to the serving size and it's like 4 chips.
Right.
Like, this is the serving size. Like, no, it's not. Nobody eats 4 fucking Doritos. People eat handfuls of it, if not the whole bag, like me.
Oh, yeah.
So we wanted to be realistic. This is one serving.
Okay.
150 calories.
How many grams of protein?
9.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's got quite a bit.
Not bad.
The chickpea flour that we use, like super high protein. and same with the sesame. Sesame has a lot of protein.
Is Amazon and maybe I'm assuming maybe your webpage, are those the...
We're not selling it on our... We were going to sell it on our website, but we found, well, and we're actually probably pretty lucky that we decided to go with Amazon. Amazon has blown up. We've sold like...
You don't say. I've heard of it. I don't know much about it. Have you heard of Amazon, Charlie?
It's a small little company out of Seattle. Some bald guy runs it. Well, we've blown up on Amazon, I guess I should say.
Okay, there
we
you go.
have sold since the day we launched it. We've sold tons and tons and tons of these. When the whole COVID thing started, we had...
You must be loving this.
Yeah. Like we started killing it. Like when all the grocery stores started selling out of stuff and all the TP and stuff, we saw our sales like skyrocket.
Wow.
And then we sold out. We've sold out on Amazon like 3 times now.
Wow.
We keep sending them tons of stuff, but it just keeps moving.
Is this stuff harder to make than the cost benefit? Look, I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm not even a smart guy. But cost benefit wise, is it better to make a bunch of that than it is the fresh? Or is it both the same? Like, how do you make more? Like, are you excited excited personally that it sold out? But like, as a business standpoint, is it like super exciting that you sold out and like, hurry up, let's get more of this?
It is. Although my business partner hates that we've been selling out. Well, I mean, he loves that things are moving, but he's also...
But you want to keep demand?
We just didn't... Yeah, we need to keep it available on Amazon.
So people don't forget about it?
Exactly. Well, that, and so Amazon doesn't forget about it. Because they, if you're unavailable for the shortest amount of time, they'll drop your stuff off the website completely. I mean, you can stock back up, and they'll put you back up there, but the Amazon's all about... They rank things on
algorithm?
Their site. Yeah, their algorithm. So, we're actually... Well, we were for a while the #1 selling hummus on Amazon, like in our first week. But if you run low stock, you stop coming up in their search results, and then that drops because people aren't buying it, and it sucks. So we're back up there now. I think all 3 are back in the top 10.
How much is a bag of that? How what do you sell it by?
So we're doing 2 packs right now. Just we do 2 packs of each of these, so 2 traditional, 2. There's actually another one. There's a curry one, which is my favorite.
How many bags? So how many bags do you get with one order?
2.
Okay, how much is that? I guess that's
$6.95.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
Dude, that stuff would be great. I'm a hunter, and I go out and camp. I'll go out in the middle of the woods for a week, and so that stuff would be great to bring.
Yeah, I mean, we're billing it for like, backpackers, hikers, campers, hunters, anybody. I mean, lots of people like hummus. You might not like hummus.
I love hummus.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I crush it. My kids love it. I love it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am gonna leave these with you.
Heck yeah.
Or we could probably eat some today if you want, but you don't have to.
I don't have anything to dip it in. I need some pita chips.
I always tell people like,
I have some carrots.
Carrots?
Carrots are good. Or pretzels are good.
I usually just eat it with a spoon.
Really?
That's how that or like my pinky.
Really?
I'm just taste testing stuff.
Oh, sure. I love a good a really good piece of pita bread. That's what I like.
So, we're doing the 2 packs for $7. That's kind of covering our FBA fee, Amazon fees and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty like on par with single serving hummus items. There's like, I don't know if I should say their name, the biggest hummus brand in America. They sell like little things with pretzels in it and a little thing of hummus, like 2 ounces of hummus.
Oh, I know
like
what you're talking about.
Yeah, fuck them. They suck. But they sell those for like $3, and it's under half as much as you would get with this, plus a couple pretzels. So I mean, this is really, for $7 for 2 pouches. That's really kind of a steal.
How long will it last?
Well, so these are good. Well, 1/3/2021, so about a year.
So they last a year.
Yeah,
nice.
We're going to be testing it. Again, we just started it, and we didn't have a whole lot of money to get this thing going. If you want to do shelf life testing, it's pretty wildly expensive to send something off to get it tested. So we're just, we've worked with our FDA partner, and we're just going to be doing the testing on it on our own. We're good with a year to start, and then after 12 months, we're going to taste some from the first and, okay, how does this taste? How does this? And then just keep going every month. We really want to work up to 2 years, but I mean, these are Mylar. These pouches are Mylar. So that is a great moisture barrier. Stuff's not going to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
They should be good. I mean, they'll probably be good for like 10 years, but I don't really want to put it.
But you can't put that on there,
no.
right? But
honestly, the pouch will probably break down before the hummus goes bad.
Wow.
So,
hell yeah. Have you thought about going to like different, maybe like REI or Cabela's or Bass Pro and just kind of like sportsman's type places?
We have. In fact, REI was like the first place we wanted to go. They've got a pretty complicated process to get into their stores. So we decided, this whole thing, we've been changing kind of our plan every day, and especially now with pandemic crap, how, they're closing down lots of stores and stuff like that. So I'm kind of like REIs are closed right now, all their stores. So in hindsight, I'm kind of glad we didn't push REI right at the beginning, because
I'm sure they're still doing good on
their website
online sales, right?
Yeah. But Amazon, we're getting basically the same thing. And, me going out and
if you're selling out already on Amazon, I guess you don't need to expand just yet, but I'm sure you probably have.
We want to get it, and
ambitions.
I'm sure REI will probably want to do some kind of exclusive, they would want to just carry us exclusively.
Give them an exclusive flavor.
We might. Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
Here's the REI flavor. Here's whatever.
REI. We could white label, too, if you're familiar with what white labeling is. Like,
it sounds racist.
REI. It would just be like REI hummus rather than hummus co. We would just be making it and putting it in the pouches that have their.
You don't want to do that. You want your name? Put your name on it.
Well, but I mean, like, look at ketchup. You see, you go to the grocery store, you see Hunt's, you see Heinz, and then you see Hy-Vee brand ketchup. Guess Hy-Vee doesn't make ketchup. Either Hunt's or Heinz or somebody close to them makes it.
Right.
And they don't give a shit. They're still selling ketchup no matter whose name is on it. I'm still going to charge REI the same price probably that I would charge in wholesale. So, or maybe even a little bit more for putting their name on it. So, if I'm still being a producer of food, if I'm still making product, doesn't matter to me whose name's on the package.
That's awesome.
I'm still getting the money for it. So,
yeah, I guess that maybe, I don't know. For me, I'd be like, I would want, what do I know? What the hell do I know? It doesn't even matter what I think.
Well, I don't expect you to know anything about food.
I don't know anything about anything. I don't. I know a lot of dumb stuff and a whole lot of nothing.
You're great at video games.
I'm good at them.
Good.
Doing all right. I'm teaching my kid Rocket League. So I had this dude on here a few weeks ago that there's this thing called shoutcasting, which is basically he's like a commentator, but for video games. Mm-hmm. And the video game that he commentates mainly for is called Rocket League, which is basically car soccer. I've been getting into that lately. And so I have two kids. One, my son, is 6.5, and he loves Xbox. And I just got him into Rocket League the other day. I was like, and I was just sitting watching him play, and I didn't tell him anything about it. I was like, here's a controller, play it. It's like Sonic Racing, but different. And I was just watching him progress and get a little bit better and better. I'm like, hey, buddy, you like this, right? He goes, yeah, I do. I love this game. I go, remember when you used to play soccer and you would have to go to practice? He goes, yeah. I go, they got a practice thing on here. It's called training. I go, what if we just treated this like soccer? He goes, that'd be cool. I was like, so when I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start training. Instead of just playing scrimmages, basically, I'm going to have you train and try to make him, if he's interested, if he wants to train to be a Rocket Leaguer. He's 6.5. Why? Video games are crazy. Like, people are getting scholarships. They're making millions of dollars. There's professional leagues out there. If he's into it, I don't know. Like anything else, we're quarantined up.
I feel like getting scholarships and stuff for video games and being professional video game players is the ultimate, like, fuck you, dad, look at me.
It was for our generation.
Like, you said I was never going to amount to anything, but look at me, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, you do whatever you do, and here I'm playing video games getting paid more than you do.
Right.
Like,
I think we're the generation where we can raise that we can raise the next generation to where that's cool. You can do that. But yeah, we would have been. My mom would have been like, "You're gonna what? Play video games for a living?" What? She's like, "What? Duck hunt? Kung fu? Super off road? Like that's a thing?" I was like, "No, it's Call of Duty. It's Rocket League. It's Fortnite."
Dude, I've tried playing Rocket League, and I play with my cousin. And
it's
some
hard.
Friends. It's so hard. It's way too 3D for me.
Yeah.
It's way too. I mean, I have a hard enough time controlling where my car's going, let alone where the fucking ball is. Like, and it's bouncing all over the place. Like, hold on, I can't even get my camera to pan correctly. Like,
There's a you got to hit the different camera. There's two different camera
I know,
modes.
and I've tried both, and I just can't do it.
Oh,
like,
one of them's
but
good.
Every once in a while, I'll pull out some like sick fucking move and get a goal, and everybody's like, "Dude, out of nowhere, Hummus man!" Like, I'm sorry,
Hummus
like,
man. Is that what people call you?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I love your Instagram handle is Hummus Daddy.
Hummus_daddy.
What's that about? I love it. I mean,
you know,
would you like? Yeah. I mean,
we can send some followers there. That's fine.
Hummus_daddy.
Hummus_daddy.
When I heard that, I was like, huh. This dude's a freak. I know he is. A dude with new name with Daddy. This dude's a freak.
I realized that after I made that my handle, because I do have a 17-year-old daughter.
Oh shit!
I know I don't look like it.
When does she turn 18? I'm just kidding.
We're done here. No.
Yeah.
Next year.
Wow, 17. You don't look like you got a 17-year-old.
I know.
Wow.
God,
that's gonna be
wild,
scary.
Man. It is.
That's gonna be scary.
She's a good kid though. I love that kid so much.
Good.
She's awesome. She's wholesome and pure. And
I got a 3.5-year-old girl. That girl owns me. She owns my ass. It's stupid.
I don't think my daughter knows it, but she does.
My daughter knows it.
Yeah.
Oh, she fucking knows it. It's stupid. And whatever. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, for real.
But where were we going with that? Why did I bring up a 17-year-old daughter?
I don't know.
This beer, man.
Charlie, what were we saying? Why did we bring that up? Hummus Daddy, because your name's Daddy.
Yeah, but then it occurred to me like, the daddy thing. And you know the girl who runs our social media stuff, she likes the word daddy and calling people daddy. So she's like, "Hey, Hummus Daddy." I'm like, "Oh, got it." So it has two meanings.
Samantha? Sam?
Yes, Sam.
Sam, we thank her for hooking us up here.
She's a wonderful, wonderful girl. I bet right now she's probably playing Grand Theft Auto and listening to Joy Division.
Or Rocket League. She plays Rocket League.
Does she really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to.
I'd like her to call me Daddy. Sam, holla at your boy.
You said it, not me. Yeah, she calls me Hummus Daddy, and she calls my business partner CEO Daddy.
Nice.
And we call her Hummus Baby.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So hey, Hummus Baby.
So she runs your Instagram.
She runs the Instagram. I do most of the tweeting, or pretty much all the tweeting.
I don't tweet. I'm not on Twitter really at all.
Dude, we've found that like I'll go out and just reply to somebody's tweet or something, or just comment on somebody's tweet. I need to get on that stuff. I'm such a bad. It's
marketer.
Great. It's been great for us, and I'm so much more about social media now having these, because
you can ship them anywhere.
I can ship them anywhere.
People don't have to go out to the store to get that. You can ship that so more people. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't want to. I'm trying to think of a good word. I don't want to say ashamed to do social media stuff, but it's hard to drive people from the internet into the grocery store. That makes sense.
Because people, I mean, if you're like me, I could watch commercials all day long for products, but I'm going to go into the grocery store. I'm going to buy the shit that I'm used to buying. That's just the way that I am. So really for the fresh hummus that I've been making, the only way for me to get people to buy that is in-store shit, going in the store and sampling it out and doing demos and all that. But so I never really had much interest in social media, like, maybe a couple ads or something, and targeting areas around grocery stores that, had slow sales or something like that, paying $10-$20 for an ad. But now we have nationwide reach, and actually we've shipped overseas a couple times already, which is awesome.
Cool.
they're military though. They're APO addresses.
Right,
military. So now I'm like, all right, now we can start hitting, big time advertising. And instead of like, hey, this is the Hummus Co. blah, 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 blah. Go visit us at this Hy-Vee.
Right.
Now I'm like, click this link, bitch, and buy it. And it's easier to advertise. Or, I see people
Can you
on
make
Twitter,
that? Can you make that into a commercial? Click this link, bitch. And
click
buy
this
it.
link, bitch, buy it. But people do. And I get on Twitter and I've seen people, say things about hummus. Like, and that's all I look for is just what people say about hummus. I get people. I see
Hashtag
people
hummus.
yeah, and not even the hash. You can just search a word
Right.
in any tweet that has that word in it. And people like, oh, I went to the grocery store, but they were sold out of my hummus. And I'm like, sucks for you, bitch. Like, here's an Amazon link. Like, go buy it on Amazon.
Hell
and
yeah.
that translates to sales. People just, okay, click the link and buy it. And it's great. I've had a lot of people tell me, like, dude, this is genius marketing. Like, oh, well, I mean, I don't know. It feels pretty simple to me. Just look up hummus. What are people saying about hummus? Go and liking their tweets or, commenting on their tweets. And it translates directly to sales for us.
I've been trying to do that with my podcast. Just I'm mainly on Instagram. That's all I really mess with. I mean, I have a Facebook and I have a Twitter, but I don't mess with it, and that's probably a mistake on my end. But I do mess with Instagram, and I've been consciously working on lately searching different hashtags for podcasts, and then just kind of interacting. And I've seen it work. Like, I've seen my followers go up. I've seen a little bit of interaction kind of go up. So.
My Twitter followers have been going down.
Yeah.
I think people are getting tired of the notification on their phone popping up. The Hummus Co. replied to this tweet. And just seeing, because I replied, there would be like 50 things that I comment on or like, and I lose followers.
Sure.
I don't get it, but it's whatever. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't need followers.
Social media is a fucking stupid, tricky game.
It is. We haven't tried too much like Instagram stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
you guys would be perfect for Instagram. Just
we're trying.
It's all pictures. You can take beautiful pictures of all your stuff. Like, I would think that'd be your main platform.
Yeah, we're trying. We actually just recently I got into this Facebook group, like Homeland Wanderlust or something like that. It's just a bunch of like 30,000 backpackers and hikers and all that. And I was like, I made a post in there.
There
I
you
was
go.
I was like, hey, I want to make a deal with you guys. I would love to send you free hummus. I'll send you some for free, and you give us a picture of you on the top of a mountain, like, here I am with my hummus.
Hummus Co.
Or you eating hummus out in the wild. Like, you are our targeted demographic, and I will give you free stuff in exchange for pictures. I'm not asking for any more than that. I'm not going to pay you for it. But,
right.
That's all.
That's what people want anyways.
Yeah.
If I like the Hummus Co. space meal here, I'm going to start taking pictures with it, knowing, hey, he might hook me up with a serving or two of my favorite it's not freeze dried, whatever. I don't know what to call it, but whatever.
Pre-hydrated.
My pre-hydrated hummus. I'm going to start taking some cool pictures.
Yeah, and that's kind of what the goal was. We had outstanding feedback from that. But then the pandemic thing hit, and that kind of slowed things down. We need to get a lot of those sent out. We need to send out those samples. But a lot of like national parks and stuff have been closed because of this. So, and that's where all these people go.
Oh, that's
national
right.
Parks.
Rock climbing, backpacking, all that stuff. Yeah.
I went to the dog park yesterday and it was closed. My poor dog.
Yeah.
He was so pissed. He was so fucking mad at me. I got him all psyched up to go to the dog park. He's like, where we go? We're going to the dog park. Oh my God, I'm so excited. And then we get there and then sign closed. Like, oh buddy, I'm so sorry. Poor guy. But everything's closed. All the outdoor fun activities.
It's a strange time to be alive right now.
It is a strange time to be alive.
In your pocket there, you've got this hummus company's The Reaper. Yeah. Is that what it's called? What is it called?
I just wanted to demonstrate how easily it fits.
The Reaper. That's so funny. I'm rereading my favorite book right now, and the main character's nickname, they call him The Reaper.
Really? What book is that?
It's called Red Rising. It's phenomenal. Anybody out there? It's called Red Rising by Pierce Brown. It's actually a series, but I'm reading book 1 again. I'm almost done with it. But there's 5 books in this series, It's like Game of Thrones crossed with Hunger Games, but add some balls to it because it gets brutal. It gets
I thought
brutal.
Hunger Games had some.
You thought
had some
so?
balls.
Well, this
Really?
thing gets nuts, man. I mean, they'll nail a baby to a tree.
No shit.
It gets brutal.
Red Rising. I might have to check that
It's
out.
so good. So this is the Reaper.
Okay. So
This is the prehydrated
prehydrated
bags.
just powdered.
Anybody you can go buy this stuff on Amazon.
This is just me flexing.
Okay.
So, I've been making the same 5 flavors of hummus for 9 years. It's hard. The fresh hummus that I've made has a really short shelf life. It's only a few weeks. So, and I go to stores, I usually have to take more than we'll actually sell, because grocery stores, they want to have full shelves. They don't, people don't really, if there's only 2 tubs of hummus left, they're not going to pick up one of those 2.
They're not?
No, man, it's
I'm like, oh shit, there's only 2 left.
well,
It must be good. I better hurry up.
for the initiated person, yes,
Okay.
but for a lot of people, fuller shelves translates to bigger sales.
Okay.
When it's full, they'll buy more from me when the shelf
it's full. I
appears
gotcha.
fuller
Okay.
than when it's emptier. So I've always wanted to make like an ultra insanely spicy hummus, but
How
the
come?
problem is why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a pretty creative person.
Just for fun.
But, yeah, just for fun.
You ever
um,
watch the one chip challenge?
Yes, the Packy stuff.
Mhm.
That stuff is wild, man.
Have you done one of those?
No, I haven't. I've watched it. I've seen people, and that's they are actually part of the reason that I made these, because
I was wondering.
I wanted to do like a novelty hummus. But the problem has been, I would love to make something like this, but it's expensive to make. Carolina Reaper pepper powder is not cheap. I pay it's like $80 a pound for that stuff. So to make that costs way too much money to gamble whether or not it's going to sell or not.
Okay.
If I put some in a grocery store, if I sold,
that'd be hard
if
to
I
sell.
sold 5 out of 10, because I have to buy back anything that doesn't sell. With the fresh hummus, if it goes out of date, I buy it back from the grocery store, write them a check, basically. So it's been hard to do something like this. It's been hard to even really test new flavors. The only
For
flavor,
fresh?
yeah.
Okay.
The only flavor that I've done outside of the regular ones that I've had for years, I did a buffalo hummus for a few years. It was good.
I wouldn't like that.
No,
No.
you don't like buffalo stuff.
I love buffalo chicken wings, but I don't think buffalo should go outside of chicken.
It was a really good hummus, though.
Eh.
But I only did it at Super Bowl time.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm weird. It's just probably just a me thing, but buffalo should only be with wings.
Right.
Like anything else, I'm like, I don't know. For me, I just can't do it. It's just weird.
My business partner is obsessed with buffalo stuff, and sorry, Caitlin, I know you're gonna watch this, but I'm really happy that the buffalo wouldn't transpose into this stuff.
Nice.
Because to get something buffalo flavored takes so many ingredients that you have to have powdered for this, which we couldn't do. So he's like, dude, can we do a buffalo? I'm like, sorry, we can't.
Nope.
And I'm real happy because I don't want to do a buffalo one.
So we got the Reaper, though.
So we got the Reaper because that's only one ingredient to make that. And since we have the shelf life, the added shelf life of being a powder, I could make 100, 200, 500, 1,000 of these and not have to worry about it going out of date in a few weeks, and then just working on trying to sell it over the next 6 months.
How hot we talking here?
Dude, it's
Like, is this like
fucking wild.
Is this a game? Like, I take one bite and I'm sweating bullets and like this is the challenge, or is it just like it's hot but you can eat it?
No, it's we made one guy on a podcast get sick. He threw up.
One bite, or
he took a big bite of it. I mean, this makes the same amount of hummus.
Right?
as
No,
this
I
does.
figured.
So we had to
a
keep
quarter
it
pound.
It's a quarter pound. So this dude
QP.
took one pretty good sized bite, started sweating, did his oh my god, and then ran to the bathroom to get sick. 'Cause
Really?
He couldn't keep it down.
What podcast have you been on?
This was one I sent these guys a sample of this back in October. They're in New Jersey.
Oh, never mind.
What was the name of it?
I thought it might have been local. I'm not gonna know.
Oh,
I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want their name.
fair enough.
Fuck them.
The guy who runs it's a good guy.
I'm just kidding. What is it? Shut them out.
Essential Guy Talk.
Essential Guy Talk. Shout out to Essential Guy Talk.
Yeah,
I'm just messing with
They're
you.
great guys. But they had this one podcast episode. It was.
Is it? Did that make it on their podcast?
Yes.
Essential Guy Talk. I'm gonna check that out and listen to that episode.
The dude who ate it, I can't remember the guy's name. Maybe Mike, who ate it. He couldn't handle it. So they had this special. It was like the Wheel of Fire. And they had all these hot foods set out in front of them, and it was 3 guys, and they were spinning this wheel, and then you had to eat what came up on the wheel. And then hummus finally came up, and of course I'm sitting there watching it like, yes, like what's gonna happen? And I wanted to see it. This was gonna be our first big review, basically. Like we didn't even have these pouches yet. I just sent it out in a white pouch because we didn't even have our pouches yet.
Wow.
So this was like I needed to see this to see what the reaction was gonna be. And then to see the guy get up and get sick and then chugging a gallon of milk afterwards. He's like, dude, the hummus, I couldn't do it.
Really? It's legit. It'll fuck your shit. It'll fuck your world up, son.
And destroy you.
One bite will destroy you.
Yeah. Dude, I can't do more than just a little bit.
Charlie, what you think about doing a bite of this hummus, son?
Oh, man.
Want to get fucked up?
I'm good.
You good? You ain't good? Come on, man. You're my hype man. You're his hype man. You're our hype man.
Maybe,
you ready to do some Hater Reaper?
Maybe a different flavor.
No. It's the Reaper, dude. You ready?
I haven't even really tried hummus before.
He's not. Don't worry. It's delicious. Don't worry. It doesn't matter what you're eating. It's just heat. You're just eating heat at this point. It don't matter if it's hummus or chicken.
That sounds delicious.
It's just straight up heat. What do you think?
I have a hard time eating it myself. When making it, I'd try a little bit, basically kill myself. I'd try a little oh my God, it's so hot. Okay, 10 times more. 10 times more powder. Because I can barely handle spicy stuff. I mean, this is spicy to me.
Chipotle is?
Yeah, I mean, it's got a little kick to it.
I can do some spice, but
I made this and then did 10 times more and then sent it into that podcast. And then we got a little bit more feedback after that from some other people. And I was like, okay, 5 times as much spice in it.
Did they all do on the podcast? Did they all do it or just the one guy?
I can't remember. I think it was just the one guy.
And he got
he went and got sick. Poor guy.
Are you gonna try and get this trending, like the Hummus Co challenge?
We're trying. So again, we're living in a weird time right now. Mm-hmm. So we've been focusing on selling these because these are going. This is a novelty thing.
Right.
A lot of people are spending money right now on their needs, not wants.
Sure. A lot of people are
trying to
right now.
Stay alive. So this is keeping people alive. This is keeping people excited.
Entertained.
We've sold a few of these.
Look, right now, people need to be entertained. We're quarantined. We're stuck up in our house. Right now would be a wonderful time to kind of be like, hey, check the Reaper out, make a YouTube video or a TikTok video or an Instagram video or whatever of you doing this because we're all bored. We need to see you people suffering on the Reaper from the Hummus Co.
I've made a couple tweets and we've sold a few of them, but nothing extraordinary.
I'm going to do it. Not today because I have something going on later where I can't.
Where you need your butthole to be intact.
I need a lot of things intact for this evening.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Wink, wink.
I'll leave you.
I'm not social distancing as well as I should.
Neither am I. Right.
I'm trying to see them quarantitties.
That's a good
so
one.
I can't do the Reaper tonight, but I will do it soon, or I'll save it. I don't know. I want to do something with it and make a video and get it out there.
Yeah, we've had a couple people. Do so. We've got a hashtag, the Reaper Challenge, and we've had a couple people post videos of them trying it and nearly dying. It's pretty spicy, man. It's pretty spicy.
All right.
I may even kick it up a little bit more just for novelty's sake, just to really get people. I mean, people are having a hard time eating it, but I think
that's not what it's for.
Right.
It's to make a video and it's for to screw with your friends.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey, check this out. It's hot. Try it. You think you can do it? Bring it to a Super Bowl party or whatever. Well, I guess there ain't no Super Bowl, but whatever.
If you really want a challenge, instead of using water, mix it with vodka.
I was going to ask you. It says just add water, but can you I mean, clearly you can't add anything, but are there some things you can add to it?
I mean, I wouldn't recommend anything other than water for
just water
purposes in Minecraft. Yeah, I mean, you could mix it with booze.
This must be exciting.
be-
This brand new endeavor of yours with the I don't know, with the space hummus.
I tweeted Elon Musk. I really wanted to
Nice.
send some to the International Space Station.
Chickpeas, chili blend, sesame, garlic, and salt. That's all that's in it.
Yep.
Out of Belton.
Yep.
info@hummus.co.
Yep.
8 grams of protein in the Reaper. Nobody's
mine
going to eat the
doesn't.
whole Reaper. I mean, this is like made for a party.
That has the equivalent of like 1.5 Carolina Reaper peppers in it. Maybe a little bit more.
That's it? Shit.
Like the whole pouch.
I'm going to laugh at this
A
bitch.
whole pepper.
I'm going to laugh at this bitch.
I'm gonna laugh at you when you have to call CDC.
No, I'm not worried about that. Slowly add water and stir until desired consistency is reached. How much water? Oh, so you don't have...
You know, we found
You just add your own water? There's not like add half a cup of water?
no
or?
because some of and that's probably the number one question we get is, okay, but how much water?
Yeah,
Like,
how much
okay,
water?
it's going to be about a third of a cup of water, but it varies because some of these have different amounts of different ingredients in them. Like the traditional has, a shitload more garlic than all the other ones. This one has a shitload of chipotle pepper in it. So
Ooh.
it takes a little bit. It's kind of the amount of water varies, and it also varies based on your preference.
Right.
So some people want it like super thick. Some people want it a little bit smoother and cleaner.
Once I make
creamier.
this, how long will it last?
I'd say about 3 days or so, 3 or 4 days.
Okay, so you got 3 days
Keep
to
it. You
enjoy
have
it.
to keep it refrigerated though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but about 3 or 4 days.
I'm going to have to look. I want to do this on the podcast with another guest.
Okay.
And just see, make a video with them and me eating it.
I'd love to see that.
Me too.
You should. Well,
No, I will.
That is my gift. These are my gifts.
I appreciate
for
it.
bringing me on. Yeah, this has been super exciting for me. It's been something.
The podcast? Thanks, me too. Just kidding.
It's all exciting because I feel interesting enough to go on a podcast.
Well, it's
with my
at least your
hummus.
second one, maybe
Yeah.
more.
I
I wish I was your first.
Yeah, but
But the first time's never as good. You need a.
The first time is
stop right
awful.
there. I don't need to get canceled.
the first time is awful. Canceled.
My first time was pretty good.
YouTube gonna cancel you?
No, the left.
Oh,
The left is coming hardcore at me lately.
are they really?
Nah, nobody comes after me. Everybody loves me.
That's probably the only reason I won't do a podcast is just because I don't know. I hate getting told that. I would hate getting the negative feedback.
As a business owner, it would probably be hard
Yeah.
to have a podcast unless you're strictly keeping it commercial and PG and commercial. Like, and who wants that? I mean, a lot of people do want that. There's one of the podcasts that it actually won best podcast locally. It's called State Your Line. They're one of those commercially ridiculously boring podcasts where they don't talk about shit, but they have a presence and they know how to market. But nobody wants that.
Right.
I want real shit.
I couldn't start a podcast only because what the fuck am I going to talk about? Hummus for an hour and a half, 2 hours? Like,
I was in my head like, all right, I got this hummus guy coming on. What the fuck am I going to talk to him about? How do I talk about hummus for X amount of minutes?
I have
you know what I
plenty
mean?
to talk about. I do
Yeah,
have
clearly
plenty
you
to
do.
talk
No,
about.
I was confident enough, but I was a little bit worried. Like, how am I gonna get some content out of some hummus? I only know that it's just chickpeas and garlic, basically. I love it,
Dude,
but
we haven't even touched all the crazy shit that I've been through. I mean, you own a business and there's so much shit pops up, so much stuff. I mean, I've been
these are super cool. I'm super stoked about this. This is really such a cool idea. Sorry,
no, I'm really stoked about it too.
it's local. Like, I love supporting local. Just add water, guys. Now, I'm not gonna pimp it too hard just yet because I want to try
No,
it.
we don't have to.
I want to try it.
I'm
but
a real big fan of like natural organic, advertising. I don't like. I don't know. I hate being fake about things. I hate, I like people to just try it. I mean, dude, we're the only hummus on Amazon that has 5-star reviews.
Yeah.
Out of 15 reviews as
It
of
makes
today.
sense, man. With a lot of companies out there that are mass producing stuff, you lose a lot of stuff, and you're just you. You're putting your heart and your love in something that you've been working on the craft for 8 or 9 years, and it's still just you that's behind this. Your name,
My
your
business partners,
bloodhood, everything is behind. So small that you guys are behind this. That of course you want it to be a quality. You guys aren't doing this to mass produce and just make a shitload of money on a semi-good product. You're like putting the time and effort to make something real.
Right.
Like you took 2 years. How many other companies, like a big Saboro or whatever company, would do something like this but make it half-assed just to get some pre-hydrated stuff out there, just because that's what people want, and it wouldn't be as good.
We're looking forward to some imitators popping up.
Right.
We're looking forward to. I mean, you see those. I see those big nationwide brands. They're always copycatting the smaller.
Sure, of course they are.
Stuff. There was a company that started up a few years ago called Delighted by Hummus, and they make that brownie, chocolate hummus or whatever, the brownie batter hummus.
Ugh, gross. That sounds disgusting.
I have no opinion.
That sounds disgusting. I mean, what do you do with that?
Is. Although they did make a snickerdoodle one that was really good. But anyway, she went on Shark Tank. Mark Cuban bought into her company. She was making chocolate hummus, whatever. They turned me down. I applied for Shark Tank back in like 2011. They didn't want.
We'll do it again with this shit.
Well, Shark Tank was just here in town in Kansas City.
Oh, that's right.
We were doing a casting call, and my partner and I talked about it. I was like, nah, we don't need them. We're good.
Not that you need them, just to get that exposure on the TV show is what I would have done it
they're
for.
starting to kind of weed some of that stuff out. I mean, it would be cool to be like, to get on there and be like, hey, this is my hummus. We would like $500,000
Right.
for 1% of the business, and then just
Right,
be like,
right.
whatever. Like, yeah, we're just here for the commercial, bitch. Fuck you,
Right,
Cuban.
right.
Fuck you, everybody else. But I don't know. I just didn't want to do it. We got an investor last summer. We're good.
You're doing it, man.
You've
Been doing it long enough. I wouldn't question if you know how to do this whole business thing or not. You've clearly got it down.
We're trying. I mean, it takes a lot of work though. The packaging of this stuff is what takes the time. Actually putting the stuff into the pouch and sealing it is.
Do you do that?
Yeah, we still do that right
Damn.
now. And it's not that hard, but to do as much as we're selling, we're having a
Time-consuming.
really hard time keeping up. It's a fucking pain.
What's your ambitions, man? You got any plans for like the next 3, 4, 5 years of like having where you don't have to do that? Machines fill everything and seal it up for you, or like what's?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, man. What do you have? What's your goals?
We've been talking to. So the term is co-packer. A contract packager. So where we would tell them the recipe and then they would fill it into the pouches. So they would make it. They would get all the ingredients, fill it into the pouches. I'm just worried that it wouldn't taste the same sometimes.
Because you're not in the kitchen anymore.
Because it's not me in the kitchen. But my partner.
That caused me anxiety. I'd be like, I'm giving my
dude,
baby away. What do I do?
know. I am the worst.
Yeah,
the
I bet.
literal worst about like every single time I've tried trusting somebody like, here, you do this for me. And then it turns around like, is this what you wanted? Like, nope, that's not it at all. You fucked it up. Like, I guess I have to keep doing this myself. It just seems like every time the only time like we passed off the design of these pouches to somebody else, and they turned out beautiful.
Yeah, it looks
like
good.
I could not have done that good of a job myself.
I couldn't either. It's like this chick holding a joint, but instead it's chickpea. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But the guy.
I'm
who
sorry. I
designed
didn't mean to
these-
do that to you. I had to.
The guy who designed these did a great job. I absolutely love them. I think they're gorgeous.
Yeah, I like it too.
I could not have done something like
It's
that.
like
on my own.
Namaste, the Hummus Co.
Namaste, the Hummus Co. But
Right? Isn't that what that's like? A little namaste.
Oh,
like
it is.
it.
Yeah, a friend of mine. So he designed that logo. So one cool thing about the Hummus Co. Or actually, I'll give you 2 cool things about the Hummus Co. packaging. One, there's always been a sun. And now I'm on like Mark 8 or something with package designs. I've designed, changed my labels, changed my stuff, but there's 2 things that I've always kept the same. One, there's always a sun. I'm not an incredibly religious person. I believe the sun gives us more than anything else. Sun brings us life, light, everything.
We couldn't live without the sun.
We could not live without the sun. So I've
a
always...
lot of cultures worship the sun for good reason.
Yeah,
sure.
absolutely. So I've always kept the sun incorporated into the packaging somehow. So Bryant, who did our packaging, he put it in the logo. It's fantastic. One friend of mine pointed out the chickpea plant that the hand is holding there, and he's like, so you got a shocker on there. I was like, oh,
I didn't even notice.
Never gonna be able to unsee that now.
That is the shocker. Is that that is the
it's
shocker?
the shocker.
That is the shocker.
That's the shocker.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's still hard to see. You still got to look really hard.
You
It's
do.
like it is 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
It is. That's okay. That's okay. It still looks great though. And then another thing, I don't know if
2 in the pink, 1 in the stink with a tickler.
so. Also, on every single pouch, I've got a little code that I've put on there. I don't know where it is on that.
On the
one.
back?
Yeah, it's usually on the back.
A code is like a little Easter egg?
A little Easter egg for me and some close people. There've been
I love that.
A lot of people close to me who've passed, and those are all their initials. So I've got like my grandfather, my little brother
That's
who
cool.
passed, my uncle, and a couple dear friends, Matthew Walsh and Scott Johnson, that passed. That I put all their initials on the pouch. Nobody else would know. They'd just be like,
What the hell
what's
is it? Where would I find
DRM?
it?
"Where's it at on this one? Let me see."
It's different on every package?
It's I can't remember where he put it. It's kind of. See if I can turn my flashlight on my phone and find it. He did a pretty good job hiding it, but it's on there, and I just wanted it to be on there. Well, I hope like porn didn't pop up on my phone screen and get under the camera.
Don't worry, the camera's not going to see it.
So this one is right here in the darker top yellow. You can kind of see it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Oh my God, my
Wow,
phone
there's
is
no
on.
way anybody would see that but you.
Yeah, I had to keep it on there.
So that was on the Chipotle one on the back. In
Yeah,
the dark
this
yellow,
one's-
you can
this one's
see
actually in
like some
gold
you
on
need
the
it's like
blue.
invisible ink.
This one's like right there where my thumb was.
That's insane. I can't how that wow. Cool, man. How fun. See that I'd be yeah, that's fun stuff.
Yeah, they were just people whose either life or passing meant something to me. In particular, the MW, a guy that I knew, he went to Blue Valley. I didn't go to school with him, but I worked with him at Dean and DeLuca a long time ago. And I'll keep the story brief because it's like super sad, and we don't want people. We're laughing and having a good time. I don't want people crying. But he was.
Should I grab a beer for this story?
No, he was murdered, and like cold blood murdered. They never found. They never found.
They
the
ain't
people
found
who
him?
Did it. Nope. So and I felt so
Damn.
bad because his life was. He was just getting started out in life, and things. Just graduated school and had a baby and got married and all this, and then murdered cold blood. And
Welcome to Killer City.
it was in St. Louis, actually.
Even worse.
Yeah, I know.
Is it? Who's got a bigger crime rate? St. Louis or
I think
Kansas
St.
City?
Louis is still beating KC.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought Kansas City was actually winning.
Yeah, Kansas. Let's not call it winning.
I mean, not winning.
Not fucking with you, Charlie.
Winning. Jeez, bro.
Yeah. That's right,
We're
Killer
number
City. We're
one.
number
We're
one.
number one.
Yeah, we got more murders than or more homicides than St. Louis.
It was at least the beginning of the year. Kansas City was actually having more murders than.
Yeah, it's rough, man. St. Louis is rough too. East St.
St.
Louis,
Louis
all
is
that
super
area.
rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had just started a new job as an aircraft mechanic, and he was just got off work late one night on his way home, pulled up in his driveway, and somebody came up and shot him in the chest. Just boom, boom, boom,
Oh,
and
jeez.
done.
That
And
sucks.
I remember hearing the news of it from a friend of mine that I worked with told me, and I was like, wait, what? No way. And they're like,
Wow.
yeah, like literally he got murdered last night. Like, oh
Wow.
my God.
And there's an Easter egg on here. Good luck finding it, people. Use your flashlight.
But it's always been on every single one of my packages.
That's
ever
really
since I
interesting.
started.
Cool. James, I appreciate you, man. This was fucking cool.
Yeah.
The Hummus Co. I hope we get some people on the Inner Talk podcast that buy some of this stuff. Some of my hunting
I hope so,
friends, my
too.
backpacking friends, my mountain climbers, give this stuff a whirl. I'll let you know how it is. I can't wait to try this Reaper with a guest or two.
Dude,
I can't wait because I just want to make a video.
I'm
I'll
serious.
post it. I'll put it on my YouTube. I'll put it on my Instagram.
You're gonna need a bucket close by and some milk, just in case.
What if I just go gangster with nothing and I just sit there and hold it for 5 minutes?
R.I.P.
You have a death wish, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I do.
It's wild. We've got another super spicy one up the pipe, but we're gonna sell through these first. We've got some other. We have like 10 more flavors planned and prepared.
You should put on here # the Reaper Challenge.
Yeah, we wanted to keep the one, when you. I don't know if you have you don't have a business partner for a podcast probably, but when you hire.
I don't have any kind of partner.
Well, lucky.
Very lucky. I'm keeping it like that. I'm like a zebra. You know what that's like? You know what you can, a horse, you can domesticate a horse.
Sure.
But a zebra, you ever seen anybody ride a zebra? No. They can't be domesticated. They can't be ridden.
Shit, I haven't.
I know.
Wow.
You can't domesticate a zebra.
I've never seen anybody riding a giraffe either.
Yeah, well, they're not an equestrian, but sure.
I'll be the giraffe then.
Yeah.
But the one important thing when you get a business partner, you want to have somebody who's kind of has opposite qualities of you. I mean, you want to get along on some level,
right?
But you want to have somebody. You got to keep pushing at each
Yin
other
and yang,
to
help each other
exactly.
out, yeah.
So, wait, where was I going with that? What were we talking about?
Partners.
Talking about
# Reaper Challenge.
Oh yeah. So the one thing that we agreed on was keeping the packaging
keep
as
it simple,
as
stupid,
possible, as simple and clean and beautiful as possible.
That makes sense.
And that's exactly what we wanted. In fact, there were a lot of things that both of us
you
kind of
just need to get that
#
# trending.
We're trying.
You need to get a bunch of people to do # the Reaper Challenge and start just. I mean, that's how that Pacquiao or the Packy chip. Who else would have known about that without that challenge?
We got to push it a little bit more. The price point right now, it's $17.95 on Amazon.
That chip was like $10. That chip was $10.
Huh?
That chip, the Packy chip or whatever, that was like $10.
No, it's more than that. Dude, they're going for like $100 on eBay.
Whoa!
The Packy challenge chips, yeah. They've got these little chocolate bars. It's an 11-gram chocolate bar with Carolina Reapers in it. It's like $40.
Get out of here!
It's
man.
insane. The novelty spicy foods are insanely expensive. So this is just a matter. We just got to educate people on a lot of your casual Amazon clicker is just going to see that and be like, I'm not paying $18 for some hummus. Like, no, let me tell you why though.
Right.
Because this isn't just like spicy hummus. This is fucking murderous. It's going to hurt you.
This is the Hummus the Reaper. The Hummus Company's the Reaper. Really, if I may be so bold, this is purely for people that want to make a video.
Oh, absolutely.
That's all it's for. If you want to make an Instagram video, if you want to make a YouTube video of you doing something, this is the one to get. I would say I'm challenging people now, my listeners, to do a Hummus Co. the Reaper challenge, $17 or whatever, and let's get this thing going.
It's good shit.
James, I appreciate you coming on here. This was dope. Hell yeah, he gave me a fist bump. I didn't have to ask for it. What would you like to say before we get off here?
I just want to thank people. I'm every day grateful that selling hummus has allowed me to be alive. I mean, really, I see so many people in their businesses struggling, and hummus is going pretty well. We're selling very well, and I'm eternally grateful for it. Like I don't know, man. This has allowed me to not have to work for somebody else and have a job. My boss is me. It's a blessing and a curse sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes I wake up like I gotta go do this today, but I might just scratch myself and turn on the TV and watch something on Netflix for a little bit before I go do this, or
hell yeah.
And it's hard, but
the dream.
I still get the job done, and I'm grateful that this is what pays my bills for me, and this is what I want to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I can't wait to try it.
Me either.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.